One way of looking at yoga is as a process of inner change which gets reflected in outer life. The inner change, however, does not take place in a vacuum. The work that we do in outer life provides the material for reflection, and that is what the inner work consists of. We try and evaluate how far we are living the knowledge that we have, and that's how we start changing within, and that then gets reflected in outer life, which now gets better. So the sequence is something like this: the outer life leading to reflection and inner churning, the inner work, call it by whatever, in whatever way you like, and that in turn leads to an inner change, which in turn gets reflected in outer life. And the outer life that we now have provides material for further reflection, and the process, the cyclic process, thus goes on. So one might say that the outer work provides the fodder for inner work, and the inner work in turn becomes the fuel for the flame of self purification, the flame of the inner change, which in turn would improve our outer life. I turned to Sri Aurobindo and the mother in the year 1992. If I take that as the beginning of my yoga sadhana as a conscious process, uh, I've sometimes tried to reflect how much inner change has taken place. And since that is more difficult to evaluate, to what extent this inner change, if any, gets reflected in my outer life today. I've come to the conclusion that among the changes in my outer life, there are three changes that occupy top position. Number one, I'm now much less attached to money. In relation to money, Sri Aurobindo has said any perturbation of mind with regard to money and its use, any claim, any grudging, is a sure index of some imperfection or bondage. I can't say that it makes absolutely no difference to me whether money comes to me or money goes, and how I use the money, and whether I claim money from somewhere as my own or somebody claims money from me. All this does produce a mild, maybe disturbance, if not always, at least sometime. And therefore, I've not really reached a level of total detachment, total liberation from the bondage of money. But all the same, it is much better than it used to be. So there has been a change, and change is a process. The process is continuing. Number two, I'm now much less judgmental. There was a time when I was very judgmental and passed the judgment with great confidence. This person is good, this person is bad, this person is intelligent, this person is stupid. But the knowledge that we are all manifestations of the divine helps in making this judgment much more compassionate, more charitable, and gives a much greater understanding to the differences that are inevitable between individuals. And part of this understanding comes from the knowledge that although we are all manifestations of the divine, the extent to which divinity is manifested depends upon how much spiritual evolution this person's soul had in previous lives and what conditions and circumstances the person got in this life. So, with that understanding, the judgment becomes not only more compassionate, it also acquires a great deal of understanding. And one knows that this judgment, which is based on the way the person is at present, is not only uh, limited, it is also highly erroneous because the journey of the soul being what it is and continuing life after life for thousands of lives will eventually take each one of us to the same goal. So, since the destiny is fixed and one day each one of us are going to get there, the extremely limited and erroneous judgment that we may pass on somebody based on the person's present is absolutely unfair, and one should avoid that as much as possible. As has been said, there's so much good in the worst amongst us, and so much bad in the best of us that it hardly becomes any of us to say something about the rest of us. Number three, I am now far more open to the suprarational dimension of existence. There was a time when I placed reason on a very high pedestal and didn't believe at all in ghosts, other worlds, heaven and hell, life after death, rebirth. Leave aside all this, I had great reservations even about believing in the existence of God. The change in this respect has been total, a 180-degree turnaround, and now I'm completely open to things which are supra-rational. Not that I do not honor reason anymore, but I know that reason has its limitations, and it's only in a limited sphere that it is extremely useful. But many things which appear to be non rational, completely contrary to common sense, completely contrary to the usual process of reasoning, are absolutely possible. Not only they are possible, they in fact do exist. They are a part of the total reality. The mother has said something very important in relation to the place of reason in life. For a very long time in life, until one possesses anything resembling knowledge, it is indispensable that reason be the master. Otherwise, one is the plaything of one's impulses, one's fancies. For a very long time in life, not forever, not throughout life, but at least for a very long time in life. Till when? Till one possesses anything resembling knowledge. Knowledge with a capital K, that is, knowledge of the deeper truths of existence, which it may be possible to rationalize, but they never come from the process of reasoning. They always come from a level higher than reasoning. And therefore, once one has some of that knowledge, even if that knowledge is at the level of faith, even if that knowledge is at the level of only a few glimpses, till then, it is better to take reason charge of our life. So, till then, it is indispensable that reason be the master. Not only reason have a place in life, but reason be in charge of our lives. Otherwise, what would happen? One is the plaything of one's impulses, which can lead us astray, one's fancies, which may be purely imaginary and may reflect wishful thinking rather than what is possible, what is reasonable. And therefore, reason should be not only given its due, but reason can be handed over charge. And if reason is properly used, the highest reaches of reason, the most refined reason, in fact, can take us pretty far, not only in worldly life, but also in spiritual life. And that's why the mother has said that for a very long time in life, until one possesses anything resembling knowledge, it is indispensable. It is not only desirable, but indispensable that reason be the master. Otherwise, one is the plaything of one's impulses, one's fancies. Besides giving my picture of reality a higher, wider, and deeper dimension, another impact of being open to the suprarational reality has been on the decision making process. Earlier, I would decide primarily on the basis of reason and try and see, on the whole, rationally speaking, what is it that appears to be right? What is it that appears to be the best thing to do? But now, instead, I have a tendency to try and access my inner voice, the psychic being, the dynamic aspect of the soul, call it by whatever name you like. But I have a tendency to go within and try and see what is it that that voice, that inner voice, which is always quick and clear in giving its verdict, what is it that that voice is trying to say?